Wondered if Scotty, once when he encounters these situations where we have deserted properties, we could have an ordinance, I suggested one time, prohibiting just moving out of a property and leaving it vacant without any plans for the future, like Miller did, just abandoned. But notify them that there are a couple of places, economic development, for instance, will demolish the house.
Right.
I've been thinking that's getting real close there where we can get with Ron Arnold and do that. You can condemn it, let them tear it down.
Process of condemnation is pretty strict. And we can't do that very handily, but there are situations where the property is not livable. And right now we have no ordinance to cover that. That the roof could cave in or...
We do that.
We can have this conversation.
We do have some ordinances that provide for the safety.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you can go in there, the fire
Yeah.
chief can go in there and condemn it and say it's
There's
a
one that
danger.
we ought to...
As a matter of fact, we could ask Brian to go in there down and inspect that, couldn't we? That's correct. Why don't you just do that?
Yes, sir.
Is that all right?
Done.
It's just gonna deteriorate.
Well, if he gets the fire chief there and inspect it, we'll start right there.
Sir?
Yeah, well, I'm just touching on that house you're talking about. Within the last couple of months, there's been some back doors broke out, kicked in, windows knocked out, the summer coming on, and then there's a building on the same property in the same condition, and with summer coming on, I have a feeling, I mean, I hope it don't happen, but you get kids in there smoking and whatever, then the next thing you know, you're gonna have to be, having the fire department out there every couple of weeks to put out a fire. But even moving on down Spring Street, the second house on the left, across from the railroad, is a real trouble spot. I mean, with all the junk on the porch and all that. And then you go down to the one-way, Odon's one-way city street, on the corner, that house is in pretty bad shape. And then at the very end of Spring Street, the house don't really look so bad. It's Spring and Cooper, but it's been sitting empty for like 5 years. And then on that same property is a house trailer. It's probably been empty for 10 years. And at some point, those places are going to need to be addressed. And so we got like 5 places right there on Spring Street, but there's nothing worse than the house across the view.
Well, I think a number of citizens share your concern. I know that they do. And, we just have to move, and we have to move swiftly and come down hard on these people. There's just no other way to handle it.
I agree.
And
But do we actually even know who owns that house across from you though?
Yes.
We'll find out.
they have to know.
Well, but like I said, I don't want to keep repeating stuff, but, like he just said, swift action, and like he said, swift action, I mean, is what we need. We need swift action before something happens, rather than something happen and then there'd be, homes burned or whatever.
That's true. You mentioned kids getting in there. Also on South Spring, there's an old railroad depot there. The kids set that afire twice. And, they can get in buildings like that. And that happens, and it's dangerous for them.
Thanks, Stu.
Thank you. So you're exactly right, and I'm for, moving.
Yeah, see, I was even gonna, not that I'm an employee of the town, but I was even gonna suggest, but I think you and the police are already aware of most of the places, to drive around town and show you places. But I think pretty well everybody's on the same page as to where the places are that are really bad shape.
Well, give a week or two, and if you see any that you think should be on the list, drop them off to me or give me a call. We'll surely look at them, and because you know, people that don't care, you know, they just keep on coasting along.
Well, and I wish I could, but I know this one town, and it's somewhere right around here. When they find out about a place, they move on it. I mean, they move on it. They don't let it drag on and on for years and years and years. And all that, they actually get on it and get action.
I know it. It is,
It's been an ongoing battle.
but it's a battle we're gonna win. And it's just, but it's tough, and there's a feeling of respecting property rights, and you don't wanna step on anyone's constitutional rights or property, but they have obligations to their neighbors.
And in some cases, obviously, not in the cases we're talking about, but in some cases, like you just said, you do have to realize if, some 90-year-old lives there and then they physically can't get out there and paint their house or mow their yard, then you have to consider stuff like that. Or then you'll have a whole bunch of agencies, wanting to
Yeah.
sue the town or who knows what.
They
Well, that's
can-
why you're doing this rehab program, trying to help.
Well, that's
places
one
like
step,
that.
but the other step is pursuing stronger ordinances. I defy you to find some of these situations. In Ferdinand, for instance, they've got a very strong ordinance on these things.
That might be the town I'm thinking of. But, yeah.
You just don't find them. Hummingbird, anyway, so
Yeah.
much for that.
Do we wanna go over these rights real quick?
Yes.
And Doug, just so you know, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like those are from 2005.
2005, so 9 years old.
I know definitely on the bottom,
You wanna read them out loud there, Doug?
Well, do you want
I
Doug to
can. Huh?
propose? Do you want Doug to come up with a proposal for what they should be, that you can consider? You guys aren't sitting here just trying to piecemeal them out?
one thing,
Yeah,
there's
because he's not on.
there's not a line item for the backhoe, which we didn't have a backhoe when
Right.
it was originated. But I think as of right now, we could, in case something would come up, if you want me to go over it, and I probably.
Well, why don't you just work on it for the next meeting and have Beth, can you incorporate the backhoe into that too? Because backhoe's not on that.
What was it supposed to be?
We didn't have a backhoe when this
They
was
didn't have
done.
it when this was done, but another thing, if, you would have an idea of per man hour, like what it costs for me with my benefits, insurance and things like that, there's a certain amount of cost per hour.
Labor, $25 an hour won't cut it.
No.
Now, that's not covered, we're losing money at $25 a man hour.
Fuel costs and $5 an hour, certainly not the same.
Well, I wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't move the backhoe for less than $100 an hour.
I don't know what the going rate is.
And it ain't much below that, but we're not in the business doing that, so it needs to be hard.
But I think we could safely increase those by 50–60%.
Well, you just wanna go with letting them add the backhoe into it and Doug going over them and proposing us increases for next month. And,
If it delays it a month, I guess.
well,
Yeah, but better to do it right than to,
Yeah. I would suggest doing it that way.
yeah, just give it some thought.
yeah.
You guys make a motion to?
Because in the end, we're gonna have to do a percentage increase anyway, no matter
Yeah, well,
chances
I
are.
think you're just directing him to come up with a list.
Yeah, it's just.
yeah, we're just directing Doug to come up with a up-to-date list
Very good.
for that.
Okay.
To give it to us next month.
Okay.
You skipped over one, John.
Oh, we can't do that.
The Duke grant.
Oh, yeah.
Duke grant,
How about that?
$200,000 limit.
That would be nice, John.
Such an optimist.
And that grant, that was they were gonna purchase the banners to go on the poles.
Was it Adam Thorne and who's the other gentleman?
Actually, this time it wasn't Adam, it was two other people.
Okay.
Didn't we already agree to do that with